Okay, I am here with the wonderful Abandoman.
How are you?
Hello. And yeah, I'm going to interview them. Firstly, I'd like to ask you if you enjoyed your gig here in Glasgow last night.
Yeah, gig here last night was wonderful. It was in the Stand Comedy Club, part of the Comedy Festival. Yeah, just a good house, good suggestions. Our kind of show is all about getting suggestions from the crowd and turning them into songs. So last night they were very good, very funny. A lot of people with kind of pedantic hates that we always quite enjoy for kind of Rage Against the Machine song. Yeah, it was a nice gig.
Yeah, and then we did one later on as well, which is part of the best of the fest, which is quite good because we just said it yesterday. But yeah, so that was quite hyped. That was people were going quite well for that one. So that was good.
It was good. Two fun shows.
I believe you met James at a gig in 2009. Did Abandoman just kind of take off from there, or?
Yeah, we did. James and myself were on the same bill at a gig in Angel in London. So Jim had just played in a folk band called You and Me. I was hosting the night and then invited James on stage to do a freestyle. And that's what we did. We did a freestyle and pretty much the next day we formed Abandoman.
We didn't really do any rehearsals, we just kept on going onto the stage and not knowing what we were doing, and it kind of formed from there. So I think when we had our first rehearsal, actually, that was kind of 6 months in, and we didn't know what to do.
It was a lot further in than it should have been.
We were just like sat there a lot.
And it was awkward not having an audience. So this is weird.
Did you always want to be in the music industry, both of you, or did the comedy side just kind of evolve?
I think not. I suppose
it's probably different.
Yeah, well, I'm more from a music background, but before that, I'm from a theatre background, so I studied theatre. So, and I suppose everything. I think one of the joys of what we do is the joys of that moment where we met was that I was just I was trying out lots of different things, and so in saying yes to this, it kind of opened up lots of things that I couldn't imagine to happen. So I haven't really planned any of it. I suppose that's the answer to the question. Yeah. I really like the music side, and I think you do as well, don't you?
Yeah.
You're more from a comedy
I'm more into the comedy thing for a couple of years, and so what we did is just an extension of that, or as kind of next step in kind of improvising and doing stuff that I enjoyed on stage. But I think for me, I wanted to be a musician, but I didn't kind of think I would be a musician. And then it was kind of when James and myself started working together, the two definitely blur. So it hasn't been very unplanned. I like that. It's very improv in nature.
Yeah.
Just see where it took us. I don't think we made any grand plans at the start.
No.
Just kind of seeing how it goes.
You said you've previously gone by the name Jazz Pandas. Are there any other names that you've thought of?
There was a stage, wasn't there? There's I can remember a great one. So there was a stage where we were trying to maybe think of some of the names, because we do like Abandoman,
but it's impossible to spell.
Yeah.
And no one hears it and goes, oh, Abandoman.
So we came up. So there is, and I think every band goes through this, but we went through it later. We kind of once we were actually gigging, we were going through this. And Jazz Pandas was one of them. There's Prince Buckley and
I don't know what the end was.
I don't know what the end was, but Prince Buckley ideally would be. I don't know why.
No, I remember what it was. It was taking the name. It's taking a maiden name and a pet name.
Oh yeah.
And that combination led to Prince Buckley. We went through a lot of names that day. None of them. It was myself, James, and another friend of ours. We just sat for say 2 hours with hobnobs and tea.
I think way too much tea, because in the end we'd get to a point where we're kind of going, yes, that's definitely it. That's the name. And then we
Jazz
celebrate.
Pandas.
Yeah, we'd give each other hugs, and then we'd sit down, have another hobnob, and go, it's not the name.
That's a terrible name.
That's not the name.
Now, would you ever consider changing your name? Or
Yes, definitely. Yeah, definitely. It's good. Like Abandoman is it's a good name that we're very proud of, but it's so frustrating.
It's tricky.
So many gigs we turn up at. There's just. We've been called Abandoned Man. We've been called just straight up Abandon. Pandaman. We once got called.
That's good.
As an homage to the Jazz Pandas.
We had one time we had so the compere had clearly just been given a sheet, and didn't really talk to us beforehand. And so he said, so later on, and it was to kids as well, there were quite a lot of kids in the audience, he said, later on, kids, as well, we've got a person that plays the banjo. And what he'd read it as was a banjo man. Just in the, and it's like, oh, yeah.
Where's your banjo? There's no banjo.
What was even better about that gig as well, there was a poet on earlier on, and his name was Ventriloquist as well. And so he also said that as well to the audience. He said that's going to be on later. So they were all expecting the guy with the puppet, but it was this poet going, I'm not going to be doing anything.
I'm going to be doing profound things, and then the banjo kids are coming on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, so yeah, I suppose we're open. We're open to change at any
What
point.
suggestions do you have? Maybe after the...
I think Abandoman's good.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I like jazz pandas.
Just right,
Yeah.
possibly.
Yeah.
Catchy. I first saw you supporting Ed Sheeran in January. How was the tour for you?
Tour was awesome.
Amazing.
Tour was it was just fun. Like, it was 10 days in front of a crowd we'd never played to. Most of the clubs we play in are comedy clubs, so it's a different. A lot of the times, the energy is a bit different. It's everybody sat down, and it's great. They're great clubs, but Ned's gigs, it's like thousands of people stood up and just hyped and so ready for a bit of wildness. And then there's other things that we didn't expect. Like, if you mention, I remember mentioning, like, I think Michael McIntyre's name just came up one night. I was saying something, or someone looked like Michael McIntyre, and the crowd like, wow, got really like shouty and screaming for McIntyre. And then there was just loads of little bits that you didn't expect. I suppose the audience was definitely a bit younger than we're used to, but also, unlike Brixton Academy, there was a lot of people crushed up the front. Not crashed. That's different.
That's after.
Yeah, I don't want to reveal something that everybody died. I'll never put that anywhere out there. No, just there's a lot of energy in 5,000 people, and I think it was interesting that we went out. So it was James, myself, and Sam and Phil. So it was a 4-piece band. So it's a band. I think the comedy, the audience kind of, I think, saw the comedy a bit later rather than a comedy club where they go, it's going to be comedy. Oh, there's music in it.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jim?
I loved it. Yeah, it's brilliant. Because I guess because I've come from that background where I've seen that as kind of like the holy grail, I suppose, of screaming audiences, and it's brilliant. It was our first experience of a mini Beatles experience.
James wants more screaming.
Yeah. Now I expect it now.
Screaming's good.
Wherever I go,
Yeah.
even when I walk into a hotel, I expect people to be screaming. We ring through early. Thank you for screaming.